Okay, I hope I'm audible to all students who are attending this lecture of Introductory Macroeconomics. In this particular lecture, I intend to start with the discussion of the numerical problems from chapter 2 from the book Macroeconomics by Abel, Bernanke, and Kumaar. Okay, so let's start with our discussion of the numerical problems. For theoretical problems, you can refer to my lecture notes. Okay, I will be taking up the numerical problems for discussion. Okay, so in this particular lecture, we are looking at problem number 1. And if time permits, we are also going to look at problem number 2. Okay, so let's look at problem 1. After a boat rescues everyone else from Gilligan's Island, the professor and Gilligan remain behind, afraid of getting shipwrecked again with the same bunch of people. Okay, so the line tells us that both of them are quite introverts. Okay, the professor grows coconuts and catches fish. Last year, he harvested 1,000 coconuts and caught 500 fish. He values one fish as worth 2 coconuts. So one fish for him is equal to 2 coconuts. Okay. The professor gave 200 coconuts to Gilligan in exchange for the help in the harvest, and he gave Gilligan 100 fish in exchange for collecting worms for use in fishing. The professor stored 100 of his coconuts in the hut for consumption and at some future time. Gilligan consumed all his coconuts and fish. The question is asking us that in terms of fish, what is the GDP of Gilligan's Island? What are the consumption and investment? And what are the incomes of Professor and Gilligan? So very easy question, interesting question. Let's come to the whiteboard and let's solve this particular question. Okay, so we are looking at the worked out problems. Worked out numerical problems from chapter 2, Abel and Bernanke. Okay, and in this particular lecture, we are starting with the discussion of problem 1. So quickly writing, first of all, what is given to us. Okay, so we are given that we have the professor and we have Gilligan. These are the only 2 people on the island. So we are given that the professor grows coconuts and catches fishes. Okay, this is what we are given, and we are given that last year he harvested 1,000 coconuts. Let me use C, capital C for coconuts, and 500 fishes. Again, let me use capital F for fishes. Okay, so this is the information given to us, and we are given that the professor had given to Gilligan. So he gave 200 coconuts to Gilligan and 100 fish to Gilligan in exchange for the help from Gilligan. Okay, and we are also given that the professor stores 100 coconuts for consumption. At some future time. Okay, so Gilligan, on the other hand, Gilligan consumes all the coconuts and fishes given by the professor. Okay. So, and we are given the following exchange between coconuts and fish. The professor values the following exchange, that I can write 2 coconuts are equal to 1 fish. 2 coconuts are equal to 1 fish for the professor. Okay. Now let's solve the question. The question is asking us that in terms of fish, what is the GDP of the Gilligan's Island? Okay. So all of us know I'm solving part A. Okay. And first of all, we know what is GDP. GDP is the market value. GDP is the market value of the final goods and services. It is the market value of the final goods and services provided during the year. It is the market value of the final goods and services provided during the year. Okay. And if I look at the final value of coconuts, what are the final coconuts being produced and what is the final fish? So if you look at the data, 1,000 coconuts are being produced. So I can write that the final output of coconuts, is 1,000, which is equal to how many fishes? Remember, 2 coconuts are equal to 1 fish. So I can write, therefore, 1 coconut is equal to half a fish. By unitary method of mathematics, if 2 coconuts are equal to 1 fish, 1 coconut is equal to half a fish. So I can write that 1,000 coconuts will be equal to 500 fishes. So the final output of coconuts is 1,000, which is 500 fish. And how many fishes were harvested by the professor? 500 fishes. So I can write that the final output of fishes, is 500 fishes. The final output of fishes is 500 fishes. Okay, so this is what we are given. The final output of coconuts is 1,000, which is equal to 500 fish given by this exchange. And the final output of fishes is 500. Therefore, I can write that the total GDP of the economy is how much? The total GDP is equal to 500 fishes plus 500 fishes, which is equal to 1,000 fishes. 500 fishes are equivalent to 1,000 coconuts, and the final output of fishes itself is 500. So 500 plus 500 is 1,000 fishes. Okay, so this is our answer for part A. If I come back to the back problems, we have answered part A. In terms of fish, what is the GDP of the Gilligan's Island? Now, what are the consumption and investment? So let's look at consumption first of all. So I am erasing this particular part now. We have answered the first part. Let's look at how much is the consumption now. So if we solve for the B part, what is the consumption? So we need to find out what are the consumptions of coconut and fishes. Okay, so if we talk about Gilligan first, so Gilligan consumed all the coconuts and fishes given by the professor. So I can write Gilligan's consumption of coconuts. Gilligan's consumption of coconuts is how much? So how much coconuts are given to Gilligan? 200 coconuts are given to Gilligan. 200 C. What are the professor's consumption of coconuts? Professor's consumption of coconuts is how much? So the professor has harvested how many coconuts? 1,000 coconuts. Out of 1,000 coconuts, 200 coconuts were given to Gilligan. So the professor has how many coconuts? 800 coconuts. And these 800 coconuts also includes 100 coconuts which are kept for future consumption. Now, I am not treating future consumption as investment because in national income accounts, it's very difficult to actually find the distinction between the consumption today and consumption for future purposes. So I am counting this as consumption only. So I treat this as consumption only and not investment. Okay, and if you look at the good coconuts, nowhere we are given that coconuts are themselves used to produce anything else. So coconuts are meant purely for consumption. The decision would be intertemporal whether you are using coconuts for consumption today or tomorrow. Even if the professor is using the coconuts for consumption tomorrow in the future, I will still count it as consumption only, because coconuts themselves are not used to produce anything else. So they are not a part of investment. So Gilligan's consumption of coconuts is 200 coconuts. Professor's consumption of coconuts is 800 coconuts. Total is 1000 coconuts. And if I convert them in fish, because we have to write the answer in terms of fish, 1000 coconuts are equal to 500 fishes. So this is my total consumption of coconuts in terms of fishes. Okay, so I can write that total consumption of coconuts is equal to 500 fishes. Now let's find out the total consumption of fishes. We need to find that out also. So I am erasing the initial part, and on the top I can write this total consumption of fishes. So I can write that Gilligan's consumption of fishes. How much are the Gilligan's consumption of fishes? Okay, so how many fishes are Gilligan consuming? The professor has given 100 fishes to Gilligan. So Gilligan is consuming all the fishes. So Gilligan's consumption of fishes is 100 fish. And how much is professor's consumption of fishes? Professor's consumption of fishes is how much? The professor has harvested 500 fishes. Out of these 500 fishes, how many were given to Gilligan? 100. The professor has how much? 400 fishes. If I add them up, I can write that total consumption of fishes is equal to 100 fishes by the Gilligan plus 400 fishes by the professor, which is 500 fishes. So what is the total consumption in the economy? Total, I can write that the total consumption in the economy is equal to total consumption of coconuts plus total consumption of fishes. What are the total consumption of coconuts in terms of fishes? Total consumption of coconuts in terms of fishes is 500 fishes. Plus total consumption of fishes is 500 fishes. So my answer is my total consumption in terms of fishes is 1000 fishes. And what is the total investment? Total investment is 0. Because nowhere in the question any good is used further for production of any other good or service. So there is no investment. So I can write that total investment in the economy, total investment in this economy is equal to 0. Because I am using this information, professor storing 100 coconuts for future time, I am treating it as consumption and not investment. So total investment in the economy is 0. Now all of us know, I'm writing on the top that GDP of the economy is equal to consumption plus investment, and we denote GDP by Y. Okay, we had found out that the GDP from part A, we had found out that the GDP is 1000. How much is consumption? 1000. How much is investment? 0. You can see that the standard macroeconomic identity is met. There is no government's role here. There are no net exports here. So y is equal to c plus I. From part A, my total GDP of the economy was 1,000 fishes. Consumption is 1,000 fishes. Investment in the economy is 0. Okay. And then we need to calculate the last part, the professor's income and Gilligan's income. Even that should come out as 1,000 in total terms. So let's calculate the professor's income and Gilligan's income. So I'm erasing first of all the portions we don't need now. And now we can calculate part C, where we are calculating Gilligan's income and professor's income. So let's look at Gilligan's income. So how much is Gilligan getting? Gilligan is getting how many coconuts is Gilligan getting? 200 coconuts. So Gilligan's income is nothing but the 200 coconuts he has, which he can sell them. Okay. Plus the 100 fishes he has, because the professor has given 200 coconuts to Gilligan and 100 fishes to Gilligan. Now this is equivalent to, now 200 coconuts are equal to 100 fishes, because we know that one coconut is half a fish. So 200 coconuts are equal to 100 fishes plus 100 fishes. So income of Gilligan is 200 fishes. And what is professor's income? After giving 200 coconuts to Gilligan, professor has harvested 800 coconuts. Giving 200 to Gilligan leaves him with 800 coconuts. And the professor has harvested 500 fishes. Giving 100 to Gilligan leaves him with 400 fishes. Now 800 coconuts in terms of fishes are nothing but 400 fishes, because one coconut is half a fish plus 400 fishes. This makes it 800 fishes. What is the total income of the economy? Total income is nothing but Gilligan's income plus the professor's income, which is 200 fishes plus 800 fishes, which is equal to 1,000 fishes. So my answer for all the three methods are coming out to be the same. So what do we learn? The GDP of the economy, which is equal to the income, is equal to C plus I. For this question, the GDP of the economy is 1,000 fishes. Income of the economy is 1,000 fishes. Consumption of the economy is 1,000 fishes. Investment of the economy is. So this is the complete answer, or I can write the final answer for this question. So hoping all students have understood this numerical. So guys, this is where I intend to stop in this particular lecture. The objective was to take up problem 1, although I plan to take problem 2 for discussion, but I will be postponing it to the next lecture. So I will be starting with my discussion of problem 2 in the next lecture. So I hope all students have enjoyed this lecture. Any doubt, you can unmute your mic and ask, or call up or mail me your doubts at divineschoolofeconomics@gmail.com. This is where I stop in this lecture.